Sing to the rock, sing to the tree, sing to the firefly lighting up the sky. Sing, sing to the sea.
Hello, I'm Mary Whelan, and this is The Song, a show that features songwriters and their original songs. And today I am very pleased to present from Petersburg, New York, Deb Cavanaugh.
Thank you, Mary. I'm very happy to be here. I would like to start with a song that I wrote a few years ago. I was living in an old farmhouse next to a freight train track, and the rhythm of the song and my love of traveling inspired this song. Blackbirds standing in a row, looking like they lost their way, they don't know where to go. I don't know where I'm going, 'cause I haven't been there yet, but I'll loan y'all $5 and we'll see how far we get. Now I'm traveling on, I'm moving along, and I'm singing this song, I'm traveling on. Little robin redbreast sitting on a rail, looking for a place to nest up along the trail. I hear that train a-comin', it's coming down the track. If I can't get away from here, then I'm never coming back. Now I'm traveling on, I'm moving along, and I'm singing this song, I'm traveling on. Nightingale singing in the night, looking out for danger and ready to take flight. You can't listen to me if I haven't much to say, but we can sit here quietly and while away the day. Now I'm traveling on, I'm moving along, and I'm singing this song, I'm traveling on. The next song I'd like to do is a song that I just wrote recently. I moved from Albany, New York, where I had a 10-minute commute, to Petersburg, New York, where I suddenly had a 40-minute commute. And all of my friends kept saying, well, why did you move so far away? You know, don't you mind the commute? And I love traveling. I really love being in a car, and I get most of my inspiration in the car. And so this song I wrote over the course of this past winter, and this is called In Winter. In winter, the moon is on the river, reflecting promises once made. In winter, my body starts to shiver. The north wind takes my breath away. And I'm thinking about tonight, what the future will bring. I'm trying to plan and scheme and think about everything. I'm thinking about tonight, I'll be there with you, in the soft glow of firelight and dreams. In winter, stars too dense to number, homeward Orion leads the way. In winter, I snuggle down to slumber, starting to dream my life away. And I'm thinking about tonight, what the future will bring. I'm trying to plan and scheme and think about everything. I'm thinking about tonight, I'll be there with you, in the soft glow of firelight and dreams. In winter, flurries past my window. Slowly, there's snow along the road. In winter, I skate into tomorrow, dropping that sometimes heavy load. And I'm thinking about tonight, what the future will bring. I'm trying to plan and scheme and think about everything. I'm thinking about tonight, I'll be there with you, in the soft glow of firelight and dreams. Oh, in the soft glow of firelight and dreams. In winter. Thank you.
Now that dulcimer is really beautiful, beautiful instrument. And I know you play other instruments. Do you play the dulcimer more than others, or what?
I'm starting to play the dulcimer more and more. Mm-hmm. It's quickly becoming my favorite instrument. I love how it sounds, and I felt like this was the instrument I was supposed to play when I first picked it up.
Great. Now you also play guitar.
I do.
And mandolin?
I play mandolin.
Yeah.
I play piano.
Piano, okay. So you play a lot of different instruments. Do you write songs on all those instruments?
I do.
And how do you make a conscious decision to write a particular song on a particular instrument, or how?
Well, that's an interesting question, because sometimes I decide, for instance, I would like to write a dulcimer song, and I will sit down specifically to do that. But sometimes the songs come to me, and I start on one instrument and realize that it's not really the right instrument. The piano I use mostly as a tool, so I use that when I'm writing to sit and look at the keyboard and help me think about different chord arrangements and things like that.
Oh, great. So now your process of writing, does it start with some kind of tune? Like you mentioned driving. And I know for me, driving, sometimes people will see me going like this on the steering wheel and want to know if I'm writing a song or if I'm just singing one in my head or whatever. So does that kind of how it starts? You're driving and you start singing?
Very often I'm driving and I start singing. But I did take a series of songwriting workshops a few years back, and I took a couple with Janice Ian, and she kept stressing the importance of making yourself write, of giving yourself assignments. And so some of the songs that I've written were assignments that I gave myself that were unusual, songs that I wouldn't normally write.
Now, do you ever start, well, you mentioned that you're writing a memoir, but it's kind of like based on some songs. It's like you're writing this short little pieces that go with the song?
Yes, yes.
You want to tell us more about that?
Sure. I put out an 11-song CD, and actually it came about because I became a part of a memoir group, and we meet once a month and read our memoirs to each other and comment on them. And one time I had a song that matched the memoir so perfectly that I brought my guitar in and I played that song for the group. And they gave me the idea of putting memoirs with each song. So every song on the CD has a companion memoir piece that was recorded. It's spoken word.
Oh, spoken word.
Yeah, so
and
it's
so
a
how
double
long
CD.
is the spoken word portion about?
Well, they're all different.
They're
you
all
know, some
different?
of them are as long as 10 minutes and some
Oh.
of them are only 5 minutes long.
Oh, wow.
And they're on a separate CD, so the music doesn't get bogged down with listening to the memoirs.
Oh, nice. That's very nice.
Yeah.
Nice idea. And so now I was looking at your bio and I was impressed by a number of things. One of them I told you before the show, I was impressed that you sang background vocals for Melanie, who I was a big fan of Melanie. And of course the young people who were here had no idea who I was talking about. But people our age know that Melanie was definitely a very famous person, and still a very famous person to people our age.
Absolutely.
Yes. And so I was impressed with that. Also very impressed with that you were in a choir directed by Duke Ellington when you were a teenager.
Yeah. Yes, when I was about 15
That
or
must
16.
have been an amazing experience.
He was amazing to work with. He really was. He was a very strict taskmaster, but very sweet and very gentle.
Great. And how long did you do that for?
It was just for one performance.
Okay.
So,
But you had to do all this rehearsing for it. Yeah. Wow.
yeah. And he worked us hard.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, but it was a thrill. I grew up with big band music, so I, was totally aware of who he was and was really thrilled to have that opportunity.
Now, I know that you also do some teaching through Music Together.
Yes.
You want to talk about that some?
Music Together, in my opinion, is the best music program for young children. It's research-based. It includes the families. So I always joke with the parents that my job is really to teach them rather than their children. I teach them to go home and be musical families, which I think is fabulous. I grew up surrounded by music. My dad was a frustrated musician, and he had me singing harmonies and rounds and descants by the time I was 3. So I have an easy time learning music and picking up instruments, and I totally credit that with the upbringing that I had. So I love giving that opportunity to other young people.
Yeah. So that's, and it's a Music Together program called Helderberg?
Yes.
Helderberg Music Together.
Helderberg Music Together. And Music Together is an international program. They're all over the world.
Yeah, great. And so it's helderbergmusic.com.
Yes.
Okay. Now, what about now you have a website for your music more in general. What's that?
That is deb-cavanaugh.com.
Okay.
And I have some YouTube videos up and actually 2 CDs out. I have my solo CD that I just put out, and I have a CD with a duo I was working with.
Yeah, I think it's so cool. You actually met somebody whose name is Cavanaugh, but they spell it with a K.
Yes.
So Cavanaugh and Cavanaugh, C and K.
Right.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
So you do some performances, and you have a CD.
Yes.
Too.
Yes,
With-
and both
with the
those
duo.
CDs are available on CD Baby.
Great. So maybe sometime, I don't know, maybe you'd like to come back as a duo sometime or something. Maybe.
Maybe.
And What else? Oh, you were part of this was very, very fascinating. This is a wonderful thing. You were part of a recreation of a women's orchestra originally from the Birkenau concentration camp.
Yes.
And you played classical mandolin in shows.
Right. And that actually is coming up again, the end of April. There will be one show in Woodstock and one in Poughkeepsie. It's an incredibly moving program. And this same program was performed at St. John the Divine in New York City. And then we went to Germany and we did 2 shows in Germany.
Yeah, and that was back like in 2007 or something
Yeah.
like that. So this will be the first time in a while that it's
Yes.
been performed. So people who missed it before can catch it this time.
They can catch it. And I highly recommend that they go and see this program because it is really pretty amazing.
It sounds pretty amazing.
Yeah.
It does.
It's we recreated the actual instrumentation. So you don't ever hear, for instance, Beethoven's Fifth Symphony played on the mandolin. But that was one of the instruments that the women had access to.
Wow.
And so the conductor rewrote everything, rewrote all the parts, and we got all the original instrumentation for this. And then it's interspersed with choral music and readings from the women's journals.
Great. And that's going to be later this month?
Yes,
in April?
the 25th and the 26th
And
of
just
April.
in case this gets shown, sometimes it gets shown on other stations and God knows when. So it would be April of 2015.
2015, right.
Yeah. Okay. And where can people find out more about that?
They can find out from my website. I
Okay.
have on my calendar, I have information about
Okay.
that.
Great. Wonderful. So if people want to know anything more about you and your music, it would be Deb Cavanaugh.
Yes.
With a C.
That's right.
.com. Okay, great. Well, you're going to do a couple more songs for us now on guitar.
Yes.
Great. Okay. Looking
Thank you.
forward to it.
This next song I wrote in memory of my former husband. He and I met when we were teenagers. The song says that we met in a cheap hotel, but we didn't actually meet in the hotel, although we stayed in one of those flea bag motels with the harmonica players sitting in the hallway playing music all night long. But we traveled when we were 19 and 20. We hitchhiked all over the country and then had our first child. And when our friends all said, ha, 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 you have to settle down now, we got a VW bus and we raised a family in the bus as we traveled around the country. And he and I, unfortunately, didn't make it. We made it 20 years, and then we went our separate ways. And he died about 8 years ago. He became my best friend very quickly and remained my best friend even after we split up. And so I think about him a lot. And this is called Highway in Your Eyes. I met you in a cheap hotel when we were both 18. You played on my guitar, and then you told me of your dreams. We sang and talked into the night, though I was feeling shy. And later, when I lay with you, I saw the highway in your eyes. Life was an adventure while I spent my time with you. Adventures always have to end, somehow we both knew. We came to the crossroad and we said our goodbyes. And when I think about you, I still see the highway in your eyes. looked for love when I looked at you, but I wanted more than you could lend. I stuck around hoping things would change, then realized it had to end. Now it's 4 a.m. behind the wheel, my autopilot's on. No one else is on the road, I'm driving toward the dawn. I've hit that point of no return, I'm so tired I could cry. And when I try to rest, I see the highway. Yes, when I stop to rest, I see the highway. And when I think about you, I still see the highway in your eyes. Oops. All right, this next song I'm going to quickly retune. So I had this wild and crazy life when I was young, and it seems as though my whole life I had one disaster after another. But I have managed not to let it get me down. I'm not quite sure how, but I always try to see the best in things. So this next song I wrote after a long stretch of bad luck. I often tell my friends that I feel as though I have experienced almost every disaster there is to experience. And I'm happy to stick with these, and I don't need any new ones. This is called Long Strange Trip. Good news travels fast, and you don't know when it's coming. So you keep hanging on, waiting for that knock upon your door. Or the telephone to ring, bringing good news home once more. And what a long, strange trip it's been. Yes, what a long, strange trip it's been. Bad luck keeps seeping through the cracks, and you don't know when it's going. So you keep hanging on, waiting for the sun to shine on through. For those gray clouds to roll away, and the skies would all turn blue. And what a long, strange trip it's been. Yes, what a long, 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 strange trip it's been. Seems like every time you think you know which way to go, the road keeps bringing you right back to where you started. And you don't know where you're going. Sometimes I'm just not sure if I'm coming or I'm going. So I keep hanging on, waiting for the world to skip a beat. So I can climb back on, try and find my dancing feet. And what a long, long, strange trip it's been. Yes, what a long, 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 strange trip it's been.